Welcome, brothers and sisters. I'm glad you can attend Mass on this wonderful Sunday evening. How are you doing, Brother Herod, King of the Jews?
I'm kicked back, ready for the show. How you, Solomon?
I'm doing very good, very good. Today's show is Secrets of the Amish, dark secrets of the Amish, because we have some hideous, disgusting things to talk about. Matter of fact, we have an ex-member of the Amish community who's going to be joining us in just a few minutes, Brother Joe Slabaugh. He's going to be on this show. It's going to be crazy, man. Why don't you tell him a little bit about what we got on the show?
Well, aside from the interview, it's all about Amish. We got a couple clips of some good things about the Amish community, and we're going to talk about abuse in the church and just the mental brainwashing they do to the kids. They don't allow them to go to school very much, and there's more Amish in America than you would think, and they're in Canada, and there's a lot of Amish people out here, and it's a very, very secretive sector of people. They're kind of like the Orthodox Jews. They don't go to the police. They keep stuff in their own communities. They even have their own mental hospitals. So it's really, really segregated, and they keep everything to themselves. So we don't hear a ton of all the bad things they're doing. As a matter of fact, you don't hardly hear anything about the Amish. So the whole show, it's great laid out. Solomon, he did a lot for this show, so it should be very, very good.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man. You said that they were brainwashed, and that's true because these poor kids, just like all these other religions we talk about, and these other different weird beliefs, they have no choice. I mean, here's a prime example of what they go through as young as they can remember.
And we're told from the time, as far back as I can remember, that when you're born into an Amish home, into an Amish culture, that to leave that culture means being relegated to hell for eternity. Really, truly. That is what I was told from as far back as I can remember.
Now, she said it right. She said culture, first four letters, C-U-L-T, cult. And that's what they do. They brainwash. That's one of the biggest things that cults do. And they target the children. You heard the lady. That lady was an ex-member of the Amish community. Many of the women, they save up money. They get an allowance from their pimp. Their husband, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and they get like $20 a week. In the case of this one woman, she had to save up for years, and the whole while she was saving up, she was getting this shit beat out of her. Here's an example of what she had to endure while living with her husband.
The alleged ringleader of the breakaway Amish group, Sam Mullet.
No, blog talk, fuck up. My bad. Here we go. This is it.
My mother-in-law spoke to my ex-husband and told him what an awful, rebellious woman I was, and spoke very disrespectfully to her, which in turn enraged my then husband. And he came back to where I was painting and was very, very angry and was screaming at me, how dare I speak to his mother that way, and grabbed me by my throat, beat my head against the wall, threw me down.
And you lost consciousness at that point?
It was awful.
Yeah, so there you have an example of how women are treated. But just like in any culture, women always can get slapped up a little bit. You know how it is. But I guess it's no different with the Amish people. So that's just what it is. But no, we're gonna get off in our interview with Joe. This cat is an ex-member of the Amish community. Matter of fact, he has a couple websites. I'll let him tell you the websites. Are you ready to do the interview, Brother Herod?
I'm always ready, on deck, ready to go.
All right, here we go. And no, that's not the number. Bear with me, folks. Instead of trying to call somebody, I just tried to upload a file. I entered the phone number in the file box, so it shows you I must be smoking something. Maybe I ain't smoked nothing yet. I need to smoke something is what the problem is. It will happen, folks, tonight. As soon as this show is over with.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Is this the ex-Amish guy, Joe?
Yes.
How you doing, Joe? Welcome to the Church Reality. I'm Brother Solomon. I have Brother Harriet on the phone with me.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
First and foremost, we'd like to welcome you to the Church of Reality, and it's a very courageous thing you've done. You actually were a member of the Amish community, and you left. Can you describe what led up to you leaving?
I was 18 when I left. Well, actually, I had left a few times before. I left first when I was 13. At that time, I left because my uncle and control. He used kind of control my family and I couldn't live that lifestyle anymore. But I was at 13. I couldn't, of course, get a job or anything like that. And so I left at my brother's house and came back home after 3 days, and then I stayed at home for a couple of years, and then when I was 16, I left again and I went to my mom's second cousin, and who was a retired Mennonite pastor at the time, and I stayed there for 3 months, and it was a good life experience, but again, I really couldn't keep a job, although I did some dishwasher work and stuff like that.
Joe, were you shunned from the community when you left?
No, actually. This may be a little different from community to community, but the one that I was from, which is one of the stricter Amish communities, by the way, is called the Swordsmanship for Amish. Their rules are basically that if you're a member of the church or baptized into the community, and then you leave, then you're shunned. But if you just leave without becoming a member and baptized and all that, then you're not shunned then. And there's an exception to that though too, is if you leave during what they call a split in the church, where they have a disagreement in the church, and they decide they don't want to. Certain number of people don't want to keep together with the church anymore. However you say that, they split it, and then if you leave during that time, then you're free to go without being shunned either.
So you were never actually baptized into the
No.
Amish church?
No, I left I left actually the Sunday after I turned 18, which, by the way, is in a couple weeks. My birthday's on the 9th.
Out of all the kids your age, how many left and how many stayed?
Well, I didn't actually have that many people my age in the community, other than my cousins, but quite a few that were. Well, put it this way, there are quite a few that do leave in this community. I would say close to 40 to 50% of people either left now. I mean, in the that I knew when I was growing up, that quite a few of them did leave. But now there's at least the ones in the Worcester area. Now, I'm not really sure about that number as far as up until I was about 9 years old. I lived in another community called Lodi, Ohio, and that community, I'm thinking that it's not as quite as high percentage-wise as the Worcester community.
Now, 50% a pretty big number. Were they leaving because of like abuse, like beatings or sexual abuse, or what was going on for such a high number of people to leave?
Well, some of that was going on, yes, but I think in part it was sort of they have their own little revolutions sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I heard, not to cut you off, Joe, I heard about that. There was a group, I think it was in Ohio, actually, where they were going around cutting off the beards of other Amish men. Is that a form of disrespect?
Yeah, of course. My own sister is in part of that community that did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mom was talking about this a while back. She was, we were over there and we were talking about it, and I was like, you know, on Facebook I read about this person saying that this baby was buried alive in this community that from the guy that cut these beards, and she's like, oh yeah, this I knew about that, and I was like, huh? So word got around that supposedly he buried a kid alive, a little girl, and I'm not sure if whatever happened to that case, but my mom was talking about it.
I heard too that there was I think that they were going around cutting off the beards, and they forced one man into a chicken coop where he had to stay for a while.
Yeah, that's what I said. Also, yeah. I mentioned to you that I have a YouTube channel, and I made a video about the question about burying kids alive and stuff like that, and I got a message from another former Amish guy. He said, yeah, my aunt was in part of that community, and Mullet, the leader of this group, forced her husband to into this chicken coop, and while he had his way was her in the bed, you know, and like.
Now they
called it down. They said something about like a sexual teaching.
They called it a sex class, but is a sex class actually just a rape?
Well, that's what I'm hearing anyway. Yes.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned your YouTube channel as well, and I noticed that you film like Amish at McDonald's or Amish here and there. Have you ever had any Amish people like get mad that you were filming them?
Not so much the Amish, but I do also have some people who didn't like the fact that I filmed the Amish. I can understand where they're coming from, because 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 I know the Amish don't really like the idea of being filmed, but in the same,
it's a form of disrespect, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I kind of think of it as, how like John TV on YouTube. There's a channel where people are where a guy is filming prostitutes and Johns, but and he gets away with that. So I figure, well, if he can do that, then I should be able to film my parents.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Now, what about this? I saw on your page that there was those people that have that show. One of them admitted to bestiality in the Amish community, where pretty much people having sex with animals. Now, is that something that you heard about?
Well, yeah, actually, I have. In fact, I do remember my mom one time mentioning about bestiality where they put down a cow, and they found out about this one guy, or whatever. But
this guy had sex with a cow?
That's what was alleged anyway. Yes.
You hear that, folks? This guy made a cow do this. Now, when you say he had sex with the cow, obviously it wasn't consensual. Did the cow? Now, what happened? I mean, like, why is bestiality? Is it popular in the Amish community, or is it just?
Well, I don't think it's that popular, but I mean, I guess you can find that anywhere, including in
any society, I guess.
But I mean, I had a guy here. It had nothing to do with the Amish. I was just helping his kid that was homeless, and he's in jail now for trying to steal stuff. But later I find out that he had that one of his first offenses was for him and the dog. So
him and a dog. And I don't have a dog barking effect on here. 6, you got to put a dog barking. That would have been perfect. So that's crazy.
Now,
well, I always like the George Carlin joke. Why did the farmer fuck the sheep at the edge of the cliff? So he'd keep pushing back. But okay, guys, we're dog fucking here on Church Reality right now. But no, all seriousness aside, let's get away from the bestiality for a minute. But let's talk about sex abuse with children. How big is that in the Amish community?
Well, that anything can happen in any community. Now, my main concern with the Amish is the cover up, is the fact that whenever you have a community that discourages contacting authorities for any kind of problems that may come up, then the issue just compounds, so to speak, because it kind of sends a message to the young guy that it's okay to rape that little girl or whatever, and it just keeps going.
They don't want to? Do you think they're scared to contact outside authorities because most Amish communities have something to hide, or they just don't want to do it because they're not Amish?
Well, they don't. They want to keep it all internal. They want to. They do their own punishment. Now, their punishment is shunning, and normally it's something like 6 weeks or something like that. Well, the 6-week punishment is it can be from anything from having a wrong size hat brim to rape to whatever. You know, that 6 weeks of punishment doesn't matter. I mean, just for drinking beer or something like that.
When you're shunned for the 6 weeks, what's the technical term of shunning? I mean, the people
it's
don't
like
talk
going
to
in
you
the Amish hole for 6 weeks.
Yeah, but are you not allowed to go to work? Are you not allowed to go to work? Are you not allowed to see your family? How's it?
Well, you're allowed to. You're basically what you're not allowed to do is, like, say if you're still within the Amish community, but you're shunned. Your family can't accept money from you. They can't eat at the same table with you. In fact, like the Amish church, they have this one one pot of what they call church soup. Is the soup is they set out on these benches for this kind of a feast after church service. And for those who are shunned, the ones who are not shunned, they all eat out of this one pot that are in the general area. But for a guy who's shunned, he's not allowed to have anybody else eat out of the same pot. He has to eat by himself.
So
that kind of thing. It's kind of like a shaming thing.
Let me get this straight, Joe. Let's say a guy has sex with a kid. He rapes a kid. All they're going to do is say, we're not going to eat out of your soup bowl for the next week?
Well, that's pretty much, they're not, no, like that, like if I was shunned, I could give the other members of the church money, but he can't, he can't set money from me, but he can give me money, which I don't really get, but that's their rules.
So it's pretty much like we interviewed, the Orthodox Jews and other religions, the Mormons. They like to keep things internal, like you said, it's rather than go to the cops with things, they deal with them themselves. But I would much rather see a child molester get thrown in jail,
well, there was a case a few years ago, and I've done some videos on this before, where I was talking about where this guy who over a 40-year period kept raping family members, and he finally got caught on with his 3- and 5-year-old granddaughters.
Oh, sick motherfuckers! Oh,
God,
3 and 4. Oh my God!
And they kept. This was a repeat offense that all he would get would be shunning, and then when he finally got caught, they took the little girls in to prison and made it made it out to them as if they were the cause that their grandfather's in prison. And you know what the justice system seemed kind of out of whack too, because the guy only got 5 years in prison for this.
For 3- and 4-year-old kids, he should have got a bullet in his fucking head. Pardon me, but I'm a father, and I know King Harry's a father. You don't want to hear any of that type of shit go on, and it happens. It's not just the Amish community. Time and time again, these evil bastards are raping children, and they're getting slaps on the wrist for it. It's just sick.
And they're making it out. They're making it out where it's the child's fault. It's almost like what the priest was talking about Sandusky.
Yeah. The priest said that Sandusky was the real victim, and that all the kids that he raped were seducing him. I mean, what kind of sick fuck would even come up with something like that? it's just ridiculous, man. It's I'm glad you're on here sharing this with us because it's disgusting to hear, but it needs to be heard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 2020 did a show probably a couple decades ago.
I remember that show. I saw that show.
Yeah, and I have it on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/Amish DOTCO.co, Amish.co. Type that in.
What's your website? While we're at it, Joe, before you get into this, what's your website?
You can use Amish.co or FarmerAmish.com, something like that. They'll take you to my sites.
Okay.
And I also have a Facebook page called the Former Amish News, and that's at Facebook.com/FormerAmish.
Okay. Let me tell that to the folks again. If you want to check out Joe's site, go to Amish.co or also your Facebook /FORMER Amish, Former Amish. And then in YouTube, what is it? YouTube.com/Mr. Deleted?
Yes.
Mr. Deleted, MRDELETED. Okay, sorry, Joe. Just want to make sure the listeners got that in. Now you can go ahead and.
Actually, I got a question. When I was researching the Amish, I noticed that a lot of Amish come from Ohio, and I heard you say that you were also from Ohio, and I've seen a lot of people talking about some of the Amish in Ohio had marijuana farms that they'd grow in their fields. Have you ever seen anything about that?
Actually, I haven't seen it personally, but I keep hearing that the Amish. This is from people who when they hear that I'm from Amish, they're like, yeah, the Amish have the best weed, you know, like, okay, but
I also know that a lot of the products that Amish use or sell contain hemp, which has nothing to do with marijuana besides the plant, but if they did grow it, it would be beneficial for them to make like rope and other things like that.
Yeah, personally, I think it should be legalized, but
yeah, you're right. It should be. That's one thing. Hey, man, you got to legalize that shit. You know, but
And what is your religious stance at this point?
I'm a Christian, although I'm not really going to church at this point. But I have a local church I like to go to sometimes. But not denominational. I don't go for. I don't want to go with labels like I used to. I mean, that's what I grew up with, and that's not what I want to. You know, I don't want to live my life like by man-made rules. I want to live my life with Christ, not for somebody else's rules. Well, somebody else decides what I can and can't do. You know what I'm saying?
I want to play a clip. Yeah. I want to play a clip about you know what I'm saying, the Amish and the Amish children about going to church. So hang on the line one sec.
Well, the church services are held in the homes. They don't have church houses. And they're about 3 to 4 hours long. And the children they sit through these church services. And if you ever witness Amish children, they are quiet and well behaved because those children actually are full of fear. If they know exactly what the punishment is, and it's not time out.
Now, Joe, what is that lady talking about? These children are full of fear, and they know what the punishment is, but it's not time out. Can you enlighten us a little bit about that?
Well, they do get spankings if they don't behave in church. Now, personally, my mom had a leather strap for that, but and sometimes a willow tree.
Wow. Is it common for Amish mothers to have straps and such?
Yeah, we I think pretty much. I think that's a common practice. I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't been Amish since 14 years ago almost. So
you've been out of it for a while.
Yes. And well, this month would be the 14th year.
Now, how much have you strayed from your Amish ways, such as how you dress or appearance and so on?
Well, yeah, I don't dress Amish at all. I mean, I am wearing a hoodie right now, you know. But
you sound like an gangster-ass Amish dude, man. You sound like one of the motherfuckers from Amish Paradise. I'm wearing a hoodie right now. We're going to get that a little bit later.
Yeah, I actually made a video where I was made my own Amish Paradise video on YouTube if you want to check that out. But anyway, that's another thing. Computers is kind of become my life since I left the Amish, and really enjoy working with computers, which I never would have been able to do if I was Amish, because I couldn't use electricity and whatnot.
Do you still have Amish friends, like good Amish friends that you grew up with, your cousins and such?
Well, to be honest with you, I never really had that many friends when I was Amish, but in part because we left the first home when I was like 9 years old, and then 4 years after that, I was when I first left the Amish. But so other than my cousins, I never really got to know any best Amish people to consider best friends or something like that.
No, Joe. Joe, another question I have for you is I've been seeing a lot of stuff about the Amish and incest, and a lot of rare diseases that children are getting, different forms of mental retardation, different rare diseases that come from inbreeding. Is that big in the Amish community, like cousins doing cousins, mothers, sons, daughters?
Well, I hear that too, and to some extent, I do agree that there is a problem, and I'm not so sure about mothers and sons or anything like that, but I do know about my experiences from Source Trigger Amish. As I said, it's one of the most strict Amish groups, but one of their practices includes marrying of second cousins, which I disagree with. I don't think that should happen. Should be that close, because I think that is one of those issues that should be stopped. But I noted
it doesn't go further than cousins. Unless like you said, there's an old pervert with a boner molesting his whole family for 40 years, like that one guy you were talking about that got 5 years and people couldn't eat out of his soup bowl.
Well, yeah, you got and the neighbor was like the one that the neighbors ended up reporting him because they found blood or something like that, and something where they saw that he was being abusing these little girls, and because of that.
Man, I'm sorry, Joe. I just whenever I hear something like that about the kids, I just want to kill a motherfucker. But hey, I'm gonna play this clip real quick. This is the beard attacks that I was telling you about, Joe. I think this happened in your community, well, or close to your community. Let me know if this is what you were talking about earlier.
The alleged ringleader of the breakaway Amish group, Sam Mullet, is brought into federal court Wednesday, where he and 3 others faced a judge. Prosecutors say he was a mastermind behind the hate crimes, where 7 men cut the beards and hair of others for not following Mullet's group. Inside, a federal prosecutor interviewed the lead FBI agent on the case. The agent said during the raid they found Sam Mullet in a bedroom with a wife of one of the co-defendants doing, quote, sexual counseling. He said they found the scissors and clippers used in the attacks and that marijuana seeds and cocaine were found in a barn on the 800-acre property. The agent also said when they went to arrest Emmanuel Schrock, a co-defendant, he barricaded himself in a room with a child. The prosecutor also asked the agent about recorded jailhouse conversations between Mullet and others, where we learned 2 of the attacks might have been recorded and that Mullet may have forced one man into a chicken coop for 12 days.
Jesus Christ. Let's go over this for a second, Joe. Okay, they found the cocaine and the marijuana. Okay,
you know what I found remarkable, though? They
deal.
took the seeds out of the weed before they smoked it.
They took the seed out of the weed. But, the children, the child abuse, which is, it's fucking horrible. Now, this is weird, too. We talked about this, the cutting of the beards. Like, what I can imagine, if we get Mac Mizzle, that's the homie Mac Mizzle. Shout out to Mac Mizzle. Imagine if we held him down and cut off his beard, what he would do. But other than that, they put a man in a fucking chicken coop for 12 days. Can you imagine being in a chicken coop for 12 days? You wouldn't run out of food. I don't know how you cook the motherfuckers, but Jesus Christ. This is crazy. Now, is that the family?
And if you were a certain kind of Amish, you'd also have some good sex.
Yeah, you definitely. But if you had the turkeys in there, oh man, them turkeys would keep you going for a while. I think you can get a lot of meat off a turkey.
Yeah.
That's nothing to make fun of.
Yeah, that's the family I'm talking about. And,
that's horrible. I'm sorry, turkeys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, turkeys. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
So that's the month. Those are the same people. Now, what happened to him? Is that the guy that only got 5 years, or
oh no, that guy hasn't been sentenced yet. In fact, there were like 16 people altogether, including Sam Mullet, the leader, that were charged with this, and they were charged. They got convicted of federal hate crimes for this. And their sentencing is, I think, either next month or in January. So
oh wow! So it's still an open case.
Yeah.
Well, I hope if anything they get them for the child abuse, the child sexual abuse. Of course.
Actually,
I don't care about clipping someone's fucking beard off. I want to make sure they get it for the kids. For the sake of the kids.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now, as far as child abuse, like a couple of years prior, they had a child abuse case with him, and he won the case, and then he sued the county or the local sheriff or whatever for $2 million, but he lost. Well, he didn't completely lose. He didn't get $2 million, but he got some money from the local sheriff for that case. Apparently there wasn't enough evidence or whatever.
He must have bought a lot of scissors or beard clippers.
but yeah.
If you get in trouble with outside authorities like that in the Amish community, how are you treated when you come back from being jailed in an outside jail?
Well, I don't have personal experience on this. So I'm not sure. But
I mean, would you think maybe you'd be shunned, or they would just
well, if you're
nothing happened, or
well, it depends on, I guess, what the. But see, he was pretty much his own dictatorship there. He gets to pretty much dictate what laws goes on in the community, since he was our leader. So
he was the co-leader, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, I actually had a question about the education. I've read that the children are only allowed to go to the 8th grade. Now, when you left the church, did you further your education at all, or?
Actually, right now I am actually going for my GED, but the case that made the Amish only have to send their kids to the 8th grade is the Yoder versus Wisconsin, which was a Supreme Court decision, and I really disagree with the majority opinion on this, because it basically, well, put it this way, I agree with the dissent, because dissent was basically saying, well, what about the kids? They are the ones who are being affected by this, not so much the parents. Now, the parents may disagree with sending their kids to the high school, but shouldn't they be allowed the chance at going to high school if they wanted to, you know? And that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I believe should be.
Do you think an 8th grade education is enough to enable someone to be a successful Amish, whatever they do for their business, or? Well,
if you're going to be if you're going to be farmer, I guess 8th grade is not going to really hurt you. But truth be told, farming is just not profitable anymore. Not with not at the current rate. I mean, you farming with horses, and you need 100,000. Well, you need 100 acres, give or take, to sustain a family. Most Amish have like 10 kids anyway, so you need about 100 acres. And
what did they teach you? What did they teach you in the 8 years of schooling? Do you just learn Amish history, or do they teach you like math and English and all that?
It's all the subjects: math, reading, and what's the other one? But no science though. But basically 4 subjects that they have on, but it is kind of limited compared to what you would get in public schools. But
why
as far as
they teach science?
What?
I said, why don't you think they teach science?
Well, I think that's kind of like to keep you ignorant and uneducated, so you can't go out into the civilized world and live a civilized life. And that's pretty much it, you know. That's and I'm quoting that from Harvey Miller, who was in that 2020 special. But yeah, that is pretty much what it is.
Well, I tell you what, it sounds like you were able to, successfully get out of the Amish cult and lead a productive life. What are your plans for the future? Because you got how many views you got on your YouTube? You got quite a few, don't you?
Like over 5 million right now. I think it's like 5.4.
You get that advertisement money.
Yeah.
Well, I used to. Currently, I'm not getting that, but I used to.
What the hell are those voices?
Those are all.
I'm not
Those
sure.
are 5 million people cheering him on. You know.
I thought it
But-
was a car accident.
A car accident.
But right now I'm actually been starting a taxi service in my local area. But yeah,
taxi service?
I would like to really do some stuff to help the Amish kind of like Joe Kime from Mission to Amish People who well he's got his own setup, but I like to at least help in one way or another to get them.
That's great. A guy that came from an Amish background where you're not supposed to drive cars or nothing like that, and you're going to start a taxi service. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's you have to be you have to adapt to and the assimilation from the Amish into the outside world is takes about 3 years at least to kind of get you into that lifestyle, You get your Social Security number, because most of them don't have Social Security numbers. They don't have birth certificates a lot of times. I did actually have one, but many of them don't. So that's an added headache.
So they don't have birth certificates, so they're pretty much born at home to, like, maybe what are they called, midwives? I think they're called.
Yes. So a lot of them have that extra headache if they want to get a job in the outside world, they're gonna have to.
So do you guys have like Social Security numbers and all that stuff?
No, we didn't. But my dad, he got what was known as an exempt number from the Social Security Administration, which is basically a card that says that exempt from withholding, and that he won't accept certain types of Social Security payments from the government.
So it's almost, if you don't have a birth certificate or a Social Security number, it's almost like you're just undocumented.
Yeah, like an undocumented worker, and you really can't.
It's almost odd they could try you in a United States court if you're not a documented citizen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of like a.
So you can get away with all kinds of shit then.
Well, I think that's kind of why I keep hearing this kind of rumor that the Amish don't pay taxes, is because they think that if they're undocumented or don't have any documents, then how can they pay taxes? Well, to be honest with you, though, a lot of them do pay taxes.
They do pay taxes.
Well, yeah, they end up with they do end up.
I was thinking, damn, Amish is the way to go. But now,
well, they do pay they pay property taxes, for example. If they own property, they pay taxes on that, and they pay for school taxes, and in fact they actually kind of double tax, because they have to pay for their own Amish schools, and plus the public schools, so they're kind of double taxing themselves in that regard. But again, though, they don't pay taxes on the highway system, because they don't buy gas for vehicles like everybody else does, and they actually ruin the roads faster than the cars do, because they use metal wheels.
And their horses get shit all over my rims.
Hey, can you stick around for a second? We're going to play a song real quick, then we'll come back and end the interview.
Okay.
Okay, hold on one second. Everybody, thank you for attending service and Mass tonight. We're going to play a song by the late, great Wesley Willis. The name of this song is Suck an Elephant's Piss Tube, right here in the Church of Reality.
Sucker full of turds, nasty ass. Sucker full of that smelly booty hole. Liquor camel nasty booty hole. Sucker liquid nasty nuts. Sucking up that piss tube. 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 Sucker lamb's nasty ass. Sucker Rottweiler's dick. Sucker City Mega Mate smelly ass. Sucker Polecat's dick. Sucking up this piss tube. Sucking up this piss tube. Sucking up this piss tube. Sucking up this piss tube.
We're back here at the Church of Reality. That was the late, great Wesley Willis, Suck an Elephant's Piss Tube. How did you feel about that song, Joe?
It's interesting. This reminded me of the Amish song. I was different tune, but the Amish had this tune called the Low Bleed, which is translated as a praise song, as a German song. Well, you can actually. It's on YouTube. I uploaded it there. It's called Loblied. I don't know how to LOBLEID or something like that.
How does the melody go?
It's kind of oh good Father. It's kind of a slow tone, but
hey, if I put a beat on,
they play this song at every church service. The second song in the service today for every church service. And,
I tell you what, Joe, that melody you just sang was 100 times better than that elephant piss tube shit.
No. I definitely, that song sounds interesting, Joe. And where could I find this at?
If you go to loblead.com, LOBLEID.com.
Here, I'll tell you what. If you don't care, I'm gonna. I got some church music actually. You know, some nice soft music. Can you please sing that for us, Joe? If you don't care, before we go.
Yeah, which one? The
one you were just singing. Yeah. Would it go good with you?
I'm not sure if I'm good at singing yet, but the words to the song are "Oh good Father, wir loben dich und deine Katie Price," or something like that. I forget the right words, right? It means, "Oh God, Father, we love you, and your name be praised," or something to that effect. And
Joe, that was beautiful.
It was only they always sing.
That was beautiful, Joe. That was beautiful. But before you go, we have a caller. Yeah, caller. Hey, how you doing? We have Joe, the ex-Amish guy. He's on live with us. Do you have any questions for him, caller?
Man, I'm just calling in, Praise. You know what it is. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to hear what's going on. I heard some music playing in the background. Like, I'm just tuning in. Kind of fill me in on what's been going on the show tonight.
Well, we have a former member of the Amish community who left. How old were you when you left, Joe?
18.
He left when he was 18, and we were talking about everything from child abuse to taxes to bestiality. And it just goes on and on. Oh yeah, man. There's a lot of.
Hey, I want to ask him. Did he go to? I heard all the Amish people when they run away from the Amish community, they all go to like Columbia, Missouri. Like that's the safe haven town for. I even seen this shit on TV. Like
that's a friend of mine that you're talking about. That Mose Gingrich, that leader of that group. I've talked to him on the phone before, and he's a friend on Facebook.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, hey, Joe, thank you for coming on the show. You stayed with us for almost an hour. I appreciate your time. And thank you for exposing what goes on inside the Amish community. We appreciate it.
Damn,
thank you.
All of it.
Hey, what are your websites again before we go one last time?
FormerAmish.com, Facebook.com/FormerAmish. That will get you to those sites. And YouTube.com/MrDeleted for my YouTube videos. For my family. Yes, I have about 5 million people that watch my videos so far.
Wow.
And, yeah, man, it's a lot of people. Well, thanks a lot, Joe. I appreciate you, man.
Okay, thank you.
Joe, man.
Yeah, we got, there's Joe. Shout out to Joe for coming on the show. We got a lot of information from Joe Dinwiddie, Brother Herod.
I tell you what, man, that was one of the most interesting interviews we've done yet. Because usually, we get these religious folks and they're real serious and they're not in for jokes or poking fun at nothing. But Joe was a trooper, man. Much props to Joe.
Yeah, Joe definitely was a trooper, and we appreciate him coming on the show. And make sure to go check out his websites and his YouTube. He's got hella views on the YouTube, so check that shit out. And Joe, keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep filming them dudes and exposing them motherfuckers. We appreciate you coming on the show. But man, let's go after the 6 on the 8th. Then I want to come in and you got a crazy fucking story to share with us. I want to get reactions, everybody. But here's 6 on the 8th. Joe, if you're around, stick around. There's some good shit about some weed.
Get your lighters, pack your bowls, roll your shit up, man. This is 6 on the 8th.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, 6?
Oh, man, hell of a fucking show, first off.
Thank you.
It's time for some of the old-timey weed review. So, right this week, man, we got some Granddaddy Perk. I think I shot you a picture of this shit earlier in the week, Prez. If you saw a picture of this shit, just the appearance of it,
it's horrible to see a picture of it because you can't smoke your fucking phone.
It's nice. It's nice and purple, but over the indica dominant, nice, relaxing weed, man. Like right now, I just smoke it. I'm in a fucking corner. I might be talking pretty fast, but I can barely fucking move right now. So nice weed to sit back, kick back to. You're looking at good, depending on where you got it from and the density of it or whatever. It's gonna be 3 hours. I'm pretty nice with it. I smoked probably an hour before the show, man. I'm still feeling this shit. So Granddaddy Perk, pick that shit up. Indica dominant, really relaxing weed. This is stress, insomnia. Anything that's related to having a total body high, this is that shit. Granddaddy Perk, pick that shit up. If you haven't smoked it, what's fucking wrong with you?
Yeah, definitely.
Love this show, though.
Hey, we're gonna bring you and Mac back on. Swoop's got a crazy fucking story. I want to get your input on it. And Joe, if you're out there listening, I see you on the board. We'll probably bring you back on too after this. But just hang on the line, 6. That was 6 on the 8th, as always, right here in the Murder
Get your lighters,
show
your balls, roll your shit up, man. This is 6 on the 8th.
Jesus Christ, I don't know what show it is. I need to. Maybe it's KFYB. Maybe it's K-Fuck You, bitch. I don't know. But Brother Herod, man, tell him the story. This is the craziest fucking story. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have everybody live while you're saying this shit. Here, guys, I'll bring Joe. Joe, you there?
Yes.
Okay, 6.
Yep.
Listen to this shit. This is crazy.
All right, well, today I was researching, man, about this show because I like to research a little bit just to know what we're talking about. And me and Solomon was going back and forth, and we was finding all kinds of sexual abuse cases in the Amish church and all that. And I was thinking, man, it's always the same for every religion. You know, you find the sexual abuse cases, the child abuse, the brainwashing. So I got to looking to see about something different, and I came across this fact that up until 1993, there was never one case of an Amish murder until of course 93, and I found a story of Edward D. I want to say his last name is Gingerich. Maybe Joe, you think that's right, Gingerich?
If you're talking about the guy, Gingrich.
Gingrich, like
Gingrich,
like Newt, motherfucker, Gingrich, yeah.
Yeah, Gingrich. Okay.
Hey, Gingrich.
Well, he's the only Amish man convicted of murder, and the story is his name is Ed, and he married a lady named Katie. They had 8 kids, and from what I read, Ed was real sick, and he was refusing medicine, and he claimed he had the devil in him. But the story is, it says, as the children played on the floor, Katie stood in front of the sink and began to wash the dishes. She was startled suddenly when she turned around, and Ed was right there towering over her. "What's wrong?" she said. Ed ignored Katie's question, took 2 steps back, and slammed his fist directly into the middle of her face. Katie was instantly knocked to the floor, and her face began bleeding profusely. Still conscious, Katie asked, "Why did you do this?" "I am the devil," Ed shrieked. Ed and Katie's young daughter, Mary, began crying, and their son, Danny, stood motionless. "Danny," Katie said, "go get your Uncle Dan. Tell him Daddy is sick. Hurry." Danny quickly ran out the front door, leaving his mother bleeding on the floor at his father's feet. Mary and Enos, too scared to run, were left behind to witness what was still to come. Danny ran as fast as he could through the snow to his Uncle Danny's house. He burst in the front door and gasped, "Daddy isn't feeling good." The boy's uncle did not even bother to question the seriousness of the situation. The fact that his little nephew had run half a mile through the snow barefoot was enough to suggest that something was terribly wrong. He quickly ran out of the house, grabbed a mare from the barn, and riding her bareback style was soon galloping down the road. When Danny went inside his brother's house, he was nearly overwhelmed with terror. Katie was laying stretched out and motionless on the floor. Ed had her pinned down with his knees and was madly pounding her face with his fists. "What are you doing?" Dan screamed. "Get off of her." Ed stood up and coolly replied, "This is what she deserves." He then lifted up his right foot and stomped it down on Katie's face as hard as he could. Blood splattered all over the room, and Ed only paused momentarily before dropping back down and resuming the blows to her face. Danny lunged at Ed and knocked him off of Katie. The 2 men wrestled on the floor briefly before they both jumped up. The look on Ed's face told Danny that he would be next if he did not get out of the house. Leaving behind the children, Uncle Danny ran out of the house and mounted his mare once again. He quickly rode to the closest English farm just minutes away. Now the guy called the cops and stuff.
Sorry.
Nah, it ain't even got serious yet. But listen, the guy called the cops and stuff. But listen, following his brief scuffle with Danny, Ed pulled on his work boots. He walked back over to Katie and began crushing his foot down on her head. His two young children. Now listen, his two young children looked on in horror. His kids was watching this, and the right side of Katie's face had caved in, and her brains began to spill out onto the floor. After a few minutes, Ed dropped to his knees and undressed Katie's body. Once all of her clothes were removed, he took a steak knife from the kitchen drawer and used it to make a 7-inch incision in her lower abdomen. Though the incision, or through the incision, Ed reached his hand up inside of Katie's body cavity and removed her lungs, her kidneys, her stomach, her liver, her spleen, her bladder, her uterus, and heart. He stacked all of her organs in a pile next to her body, stuck the knife into the top of them. Satisfied with his work, Ed washed himself up in the sink, threw his Bible into the fireplace, and told the children to put their coats on. He's taking them to Granddad's for the night.
It sounds like a fucking Brother song.
All right, so listen,
that sounds like a horror movie, man. Like,
listen here. After I read that, I was like, this is fake. Someone made that up. But I looked further into it. Listen to this shit. He was released from a state correctional institution on March 19th, 1998, after serving his full 4-year sentence, and eventually moved to an Amish mental health facility in Michigan. They found him hanging in a barn in 2011. He killed himself. But 4 years.
Now you know damn well if I go out and let's just say I rob somebody at gunpoint or something, I'm automatically getting fucking 15 to 25. You know what I'm saying? But this guy can kill his wife, remove her organs in front of his own children, and get 4 years? Fuck that.
Well, they said he was mentally disturbed. They said he was a schizophrenic.
Oh, he
had to be.
You got to be mentally disturbed. But besides the point, though, I mean, he just should have got something more severe, you know? Definitely.
Yeah, well,
did you hear about this, Joe?
Yeah, I made a video about this a while back too, and you're right. He should have gotten he should have gotten mental help. That's for sure. And that obviously he had a few screws.
They said
he's analyzing his brain.
They said they sent him to an Amish mental
taking work boots on too. Good Lord.
But just letting him back out on the street, that's crazy.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. Letting him back out on the streets is fucking crazy because if he's capable of doing that to her, he could do it to anybody. Anybody. You know, especially in the nature that he did that. I mean, Jesus Christ, he was playing Jenga with her fucking organs. I mean, what the heck?
And if you made a fucking dagwood sandwich.
If you want to learn more about it, I found a story on TrueTV.com, and that was just like the first 3 pages that I pieced together. But TrueTV.com has over 17 pages of the whole thing, the whole trial, and the witnesses and everything.
Wow, that's
like word for word. It shows pictures of the murder weapon. I mean, it's very disturbing.
See, I have an alert set up on Google Alerts for anything Amish. And you know that was one of the stories that came across that alert when he killed himself was that he man who disemboweled wife found killed that he killed himself in the barn and stuff like.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, they to make the motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, you gotta be. I'm gonna go into this week's Chomo of the Week, which in no way in comparison to that guy, because that is some Jeffrey Dahmer.
That guy wasn't a Chomo. That guy cared about the kids. He took them to Granddad's.
That damn dude who fucking ran away. What a fucking.
There is a recent case though that of a guy who had his he basically had his girlfriend kill his wife, but he was Amish, but his girlfriend wasn't, I guess, or something like that. And he was going to dating sites and signing up as
he was doing some prowling.
Yeah, he was fighting women, and he was calling himself the Amish stud.
Amish what?
Amish stud.
Very original. The Amish
Yeah, that's definitely very original. So, okay, here we go, guys. This is this week's Chomo of the Week.
Hello, little kid. Would you like some candy?
Sure. I love candy.
Okay, hop in the car and follow me. I know where there's a ton more. Come on now, little kid.
She ain't going nowhere, motherfucker.
All right, this week's Chomo of the Week comes out of Iowa. Guy named William Yutzy, Y-U-T-Z-Y, 30 of Edgewood, pleaded guilty to third-degree sexual abuse. He could serve only up to 10 years. Basically, following his incarceration, Yutzy Putsy, whatever the fuck his name is, he will be on parole for life and will be required to register as a sex offender. But what this motherfucker is not getting is a harsh sentence. He could get up to 10 years, meaning he's probably only going to serve a couple years. He had sexual contact with a girl younger than the age of 12 years old between 1993 and 1998. Now, we don't know how old she was. She could have been 2 years old. So how is that third degree? That should be the harshest fucking penalty there is. And other members of this close-knit Amish community knew about the allegations but preferred to handle the matter internally. As we discussed earlier, that's what a lot of these cults do. They handle this shit internally. He was initially arrested on 3 counts of second-degree sexual abuse, which, again, should have been first degree. But because, another girl who was involved, she didn't testify, so therefore the prosecution only charged him with third degree, and all he has to do is serve just a few years. Fuck that shit. This guy molested kids, probably multiple children, third degree. I mean, come on, get the fuck out of here. I mean, you hear this time and time again, and it's not just the Amish community. Matter of fact, this is the first show we've done on the Amish community. We hear this in the Catholic community, the Jewish community. They always get these light sentences. Guys, what the fuck's going on? Why are these religious sects getting away with raping fucking kids?
I say you just kill them. Just fucking put them out their misery.
It can happen anywhere.
Kids and shit like that should be like capital offenses, man.
Yeah,
cover up with a kid's whole life.
I agree with Jay. I agree with Jay.
Capital offense.
It don't matter if it's your first crime ever. That's a heinous crime.
Yeah, because you fucking with that kid for life.
Especially when he admits guilt. Now, when someone admits guilt, they usually give them a lighter sentence for copping a guilty plea. But to me, if you're going to admit that you raped a kid, okay, now we got 100% proof you did it. So now let's throw the book at your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
And
maybe if you rape a kid, maybe we should just put you in a room with the father for a good 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That would be just.
Or how we call something like family justice. You arrange something with a family, whoever it be, whether it be the father, the cousins, and everybody just come through and beat the living dog shit out of a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Throw them in general pot.
You just get a specified amount of time. If you make it, you make it. Because some families might forgive and forget, but if it was mine, I don't know. He might not be coming out of here.
Yeah.
His organ pieces.
I'll never forget this video I saw. This guy, this down in Mexico, this guy raped a young girl in the community, and the whole community got this guy, and they burned him at the stake. But I saw the clip right before they lit him on fire. Okay, this guy was covered in lumps. He looked like he got stung by about 10,000 hornets. So that showed me that they beat this motherfucker probably for days. You know what I'm saying? He was covered in blood. And then they lit the motherfucker on fire alive. He bobbed his head a few times, and that was it. I mean, you put your hands on a kid, and your rights in your life should no longer fucking exist. You're right.
I
it should go to
no
the family.
compassion for motherfuckers like that.
Yeah.
I can't understand in no kind of way can I see your side of the story when you fucking with a kid like that, man.
You're right, man. You can't. There should be no rehabilitation for someone like that. They always say, okay, let's chemically castrate them. Well, they still got eyes and hands. You sick fucks still can walk around. I mean, even if they ain't got balls, they got hands.
Yeah, they just start killing after that anyway if they can't fuck some.
And
you know
speaking of light sentences, man, I came across a story about some Amish kids that they got involved with the pagan biker gang, and they started pushing meth and weed for these pagan bikers, and they got caught, and they ended up going undercover and wearing wires in their hats and busting all these pagan motorcycles.
Right, on some straight motherfucking Sons of Anarchy shit.
They could have hit the wire in their beards.
But listen, the pagan motorcycle gang members, there were 7 of them that got busted, and they were sentenced to 5 years in prison. And the Amish kids that were selling the drugs, they got 1 year.
Well, it's because they snitched, the little snitch motherfuckers. Yeah. That's what happened. Yeah. Well, is Joe still on the line? Yeah, Joe's right. Yeah. Joe, you're here, right?
Yeah.
You heard about that story, Joe?
I haven't. I wasn't following it. But I mean, I heard from you. But
it happened in 1999, and it was 2 Amish men named Abner Stolzfuss and Abner King Stolzfuss. They were non-related, but they were members of an old order Amish community of Pennsylvania.
Related. They just saying that shit.
What's the higher rank?
Yeah, that's definitely crazy.
They names over.
But it says prosecutors said that the 2 Amish boys purchased more than $100,000 worth of cocaine from members of the pagan motorcycle gang between 92 and 97. They then sold the drugs at hoedowns for the Crickets, the Antiques, and the Pilgrims youth groups.
They sold it to the. You mean the Amish? Okay, Joe. Let me ask you this.
I don't know. I don't know what the Crickets, the Antiques, or the Pilgrim youth groups are.
Joe, you gotta explain that shit.
I'm not sure what but they may have been raising money for something or other. I don't know what they were doing, but yeah.
Have you ever seen anybody? Have you ever seen anybody in the Amish community do drugs?
I'd
love to see an Amish dude just toot a line of cane and just see how his reaction is.
To be honest, I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. I mean, I can't say for sure, but just what I know is from secondhand knowledge. But yeah, it's going to happen no matter what kind of religion you're in. You know, you may be being Mormon, and you're gonna have that happen, you know.
Yeah, the Mormons. Oh yeah, definitely. We did a show on Mormons. I'll send you the link to it. And you know, we had a guy that was in the Mormon church for what was it, Herod? 40-some years.
Like 40-something years. Yeah, he was actually the highest ranking member. He was a I don't know what they're called, but a preacher or a pastor or whatever.
A master.
That sounds about right for the Mormons.
Like Mitt Romney, maybe.
Mitt Romney would become a master if we don't vote the other way.
Right, a motherfucker.
I know he was some kind of leader in the local church at one point. I'm not sure that much about it, but that's what I've been told.
I got a question for you, Joe. If an Amish guy comes down with a sickness and I assume they go to the hospital and they're prescribed like a Loratab or something, do they take them?
Well, yeah, they would take medication if they needed it. My dad is paralyzed. He got paralyzed in '97 when me and him were going to work, and a car hit us in the back and paralyzed
and
him.
Were you in a buggy?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I had a head concussion, one of about 4 or 5, maybe 6 head concussions I've had in my life, but that was one of them. But
how common is that for vehicles hitting Amish buggies like that?
Well, way too often. And that's one of the things I talk about on YouTube is that I like to see more safety consciousness.
And would you blame that on the driver, or would you blame that on the Amish for not being more advanced?
Well, kind of both. It can be both. My brother died from one of those accidents.
Wow.
Dad, he was from my brother's accident. It was the guy was a wedding photographer. This was back in '83 when I was only 2 years old, and the guy had been drinking at the wedding, and he's on the way home, and all he got was I'm not sure how long he got in prison, but he got released for work release to pay for the funeral expenses, and that was pretty much it.
Wow, I don't think they give you work release in prison. He might. Wow, he must have just went to a county jail.
I'm not sure how that all worked back in '83 as compared to now, but I'm thinking that it's pretty much different now than it was back then. But I was only 2 years old, so that's
it needs to be, drinking and driving, and you kill someone. That's bad shit.
Yeah, and so that's one thing. But then the other thing is if this visibility. I mean, obviously this guy couldn't see because he was drunk, but visibility of vehicles, like having actual good lights, on the vehicle, that should be important. You know what I'm saying?
Now you also said that the Amish they don't accept like Social Security, but if someone kills, say, your brother in an accident like that, will the family sue and accept money that way?
No, I don't think they sued. I think they got more like a restitution type thing from whatever they. I think it was like, from what I understand, he did get work release somehow. I'm not so sure what the details of that were.
The money he made during work release went to you guys.
Basically for funeral expenses.
And that's
I'm sorry to hear this, Joe, man. Sorry,
terrible.
Sorry you said your father's paralyzed from this accident too?
Not from that accident. That was actually one of Dad's 4 accidents in his life.
You was involved in the actual accident. You was involved in the actual accident where your father was paralyzed. You said. Yes,
I wasn't the one that my father was paralyzed, but the one that where my brother got killed, that was when I was only 2 years old, and I wasn't in that, of course. But it was just my dad, my brother.
Your mom and dad, they're Amish. Still to this day, they never left the church.
Yeah, they're
so how does a family how does an Amish family that expects the man to bring home the money, how does that work with him being paralyzed?
Well, he doesn't really have much he doesn't really have any ability to do anything. Now, obviously, being 76 years old, he can't really do much anyway. But for since '97, he pretty much couldn't bring in any income. In fact, just to give you a little story, my sister, after the accident, she went and went to the Social Security to try to see if she could get him some help. And now, the regular Social Security, that you get when you turn a certain age, he couldn't get that, but he could get, I think what it's called, Social Security age. I'm not quite sure that's what one of the Social Security workers one time told me, that would be the one that he would be able to qualify for. Anyway, he was on that program for 11 years from that time, and then when the church found out, they told him he had to turn that off, that money from coming in, and
wow.
He had to deny that money from coming in, and now he's basically without any income, and he has to ask the church for money for living expenses and stuff.
Does the Amish church give them the money that's necessity to live?
They do
necessary
somewhat.
to live?
They do somewhat, but it's, from what I understand, it's not a whole lot. And it's, my mom's not doing that well either, but...
Sorry to hear about that, man.
But they're in their 70s, they should be able to live a retired life, as best they could,
You think as much as the Amish work and they give to the church, you would think that the church would work just as hard to give back to to their community?
And that's another thing. When this accident happened, we were told by our lawyers. We did get a lawyer at that point to see what our rights were, and for the accident. And they had said that she had up to $50,000 available for the accident, and then the insurance agent, for the other drivers, insurance company came up to Mom and were like, "Can you sign this paperwork?" And she was like, "Oh no, not yet. We want to see what happens first before we go sign anything in the papers," which was a good thing for Mom to say. But then she goes to into the room with my dad, and my uncle was in there, and basically repeated this whole thing. And then my uncle, thinking that he's the big hero, goes and grabs my dad's hand and signs the paperwork using his paralyzed hand. And
wow!
What did we get? $25,000. And that was
25 grand is not enough to live your life at all. No, it's not enough to live 1 year. It's not enough to live a year in America.
And just $5,000 went to the doctor, to the lawyer. $5,000 went to some other doctor bills, smaller doctor bills. $13,000 went to from the church. The church raised about $13,000 for doctor bills, and we were left with $15,000. Like, what are we gonna do with $15,000 when Dad can't even work?
Yeah.
It's terrible, man. Everybody's got a story, man, and that right there is.
Yeah, we're all going through shit, Joe, and you definitely you're in the same sinking ship with us, man. So we're going to get on to some other business, but I definitely want to thank you on behalf of the show for coming on the show and sharing your story, and for being a good sport. We were clowning around a little bit, having a good time, and you took it on the chin. You're a real good sport about it, but you also told us some serious shit, and I appreciate you, man.
And keep us updated. You could find us on the Church of Reality on Facebook. Keep us updated with your story, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Joe. Hey, come on again sometime in the future if you don't care.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
That was Joe, everybody. That was our guest. Man, what did you think of his story, Brother Harrod?
I tell you what, man, I did not expect the end part with we go in trying to expose the bad parts of religion, but there is serious parts. The Amish, a lot of them travel by buggy, and a lot of people don't think about the accidents and the harm that it causes.
Things that happen, yeah.
Yeah. because there is good people in the Amish community. I mean, I'm guessing most of them are probably good people, but
just like
but
there's good
people
Christians,
don't think about
there's good Muslims, there's good everything. There's good and bad.
And people don't think
everything.
about the accidents, and that's terrible. His dad is paralyzed because the Amish, they rely on the male figure to get the money and keep it coming in. So, and he said that happened years ago. So that's terrible. His brother died. He had several concussions. His father's paralyzed. That's probably a lot of stress.
That hit me out of left field, man. But
everybody's got a story to tell.
Everybody's got a story to tell, and that's real life. We're all going through some type of turmoil right now, some form of fashion.
I think it's great how you can go from laughing and then someone can just tell a story and it can just go straight
straight
seriousness.
up. I mean, I'm clowning the whole show. Pretty much. I mean, except when we're talking about, child abuse. Of course, obviously, I'm going to be serious. But, I'm clowning about a few different things like I do every show. And when Joe broke off into that story he shared about his family, reality hits you. It's like, wow, this dude is on our show sharing something that very personal that happened that affected him and his family, it takes a courageous stand-up dude to even talk about something like that. So,
because most
Joe,
people wouldn't want to talk about it.
No, hell no. This show definitely, we got to end it on a positive note. We had some crazy stories. The story you told us about the guy, killing his wife, that is just crazy. I mean, stacking up her internal organs. That's just.
I mean, it was crazy. You don't. I mean, I've read the biography of oh shit, his name just slipped my mind. The gay dude that killed all the dudes and ate them. Jeffrey Dahmer. I've read Dahmer, and I've read Bundy and Manson. And,
all
and
crazy.
the clown dude. But the story that I read today, I mean, I was like, wow, that's not true. That's nobody does that, but I was shocked.
Well, you don't think of something like that happening in the Amish community either.
Exactly.
You don't think of a Amish murderer.
I live in Western Kentucky, and every now and then I travel up to Indiana or Illinois, and I'll see a buggy, and I've ate at the Amish buffets and all that stuff, but I
didn't like the food. I ate at the one in Evansville.
I didn't like their food neither.
The rolls were good. They were kind of hard. The potatoes were lumpy. You
know what I want to try? You know what I want to try?
It tasted like some kind of like sour trout twat. Just fucking nasty.
I want to try to.
No offense, Joe, man. No offense. let me bring Joe on. Hey, no offense about that Amish food thing, man. It's just I ate at the Amish buffet. It just about made me sick. I got you on again. I know we keep bringing you on. I need to ask you one more question. Now, while I was doing research for this show, I come across a lot of information about puppy mills. And I saw a video where, they had this puppy mill. This Amish couple had 300 puppies between the two of them that they were selling. And they were in these cages, man. There's like 5 and 6 of them in one little cage. And is that real big in the Amish community?
From what I understand, it's kind of a big deal in Pennsylvania, but I haven't seen it that much in Ohio. A while back, I did a video where I was talking about this guy that he didn't want to. I'm not sure how many puppies there were, but he had a litter of puppies in their mother, and he didn't want to pay the fees to have the county put them down. So he took a little Honda engine or some kind of gas engine and piped the fumes into a box, a bursting cage, and gassed them that way. He got fined for that.
Oh, that's horrible. I saw a video. They said when they put the dogs down, they usually kill them themselves. But yeah, that's, you know, aside from child abuse, I just can't stand animal abuse either, especially dogs. You know, say cats.
And,
I don't care about cats. I mean, I don't want no one to beat a cat, obviously, but dogs, to me, they're the human fucking companion. You know,
I'm glad you brought that up though, because when I was researching for the show, man, and you was telling me about the puppy mills, I found on Facebook a page called "Stop the Amish and Mennonite Animal Cruelty," and I messaged the lady and I tried to get her on the show tonight, but she never replied. But she has a whole page that has 3,000 likes dedicated to stopping the Amish puppy mills.
Yeah, it's got to be stopped. Thanks again, Joe. We're gonna get off into something else. That was Joe. Everybody had to bring him back on. I'm gonna bring on Mac J real quick. Mac J, brother, how you doing?
What's up, man? I'm here.
Yeah, you're hearing what's going on with the show. Man, what do you think of all this, man? Just what you heard so far about the Amish.
You said what now? I didn't catch that last little part.
About the Amish. What do you think about all this?
Man, when cause you know here in Missouri, you see the Amish people too. They venture out every now and then. You'll be at Walmart and you would catch a group of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they got a lot of flea markets, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He said
a group of them like he's talking about Mexicans.
No, what I'm saying, well, you know, the Mexicans usually be in the packs. You know what I'm saying? The Amish be in groups. You know what I'm saying? It's like I always look at it like they come into town to get supplies type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they be all strategic with how they shopping and shit. Because the shit always interests me. And then years ago, I used to work at the Denny's. Every now and then you'll catch a group of them there just come there, and I'd be thinking to myself, like, I thought they didn't want to fuck with, you know what I'm saying, certain people, but they get out and about. I always was curious about them. I wanted to ask dude that they have, like, that the kids growing up, like, had their own, like, little Amish gangs and shit, like, out in the country or whatever. Like, these two families don't like these two families. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is everywhere. I just always wanted to know, like, how they internal beef. They just can't live perfect in their own little communities. I know they had the same problems that we have and shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of different sectors of Amish too, the Mennonites and the old country Amish, and that's a good question, really.
Yeah,
because these motherfuckers here, it's a lot. Apparently, it's a lot of them. They got a show, I think it's on Nat Geo, man, where most of these Amish dudes, they run away and they end up in, like, Columbia, Missouri is like a straight safe haven. But, like, these dudes is on there saying that they always was told if they ever run away from their families, go to Columbia, Missouri. And it's this one guy that used to be in the Amish. He got, like, a little house where he set up for these dudes. And when they come, if they are, I don't know how they network and how they do it, but I wouldn't think it'd be hard now with Facebook and Twitter and everything. You know what I'm saying? And he set them up to get jobs and all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying?
TLC right now has a show called Breaking Amish, and I've seen a lot of it said it's fake.
That might be the same shit, man. That might be the same shit. Because I know dude used to be on there, but now they got a whole show.
When I called my mom today, and I was like, yeah, our church is on the Amish, and she just started, like, preaching this Amish shit to me about breaking Amish, and I was like, well, how does my mom know more Amish shit than I do?
Yeah, man, they out there, man. But like here in Missouri, you will see them, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be at the Cracker Barrel or something, you know what I'm saying? And then you just catch, like, it'll be like 30 of them, you know what I'm saying? They don't be talking to nobody but the server, you know?
Well, not gangs, so to speak, but what they do is to disrespect a male member of the Amish community,
they cut your beard
hold him down and cut his beard off.
Yeah. Also, the ones who be out here with no beards on, that's like a shame.
Did you throw him in a chicken coop and you give his wife sex lessons?
Yeah, let me play that clip.
What kind of shit is that?
Listen to this, Mac. You missed it. I know you're going to hear it on the archive, but listen to this. It's only a minute. This is the Amish FBI beard attacks.
The alleged ringleader of the breakaway Amish group, Sam Mullet, is brought into federal court Wednesday, where he and 3 others faced a judge. Prosecutors say he was a mastermind behind the hate crimes, where 7 men cut the beards and hair of others for not following Mullet's group. Inside, a federal prosecutor interviewed the lead FBI agent on the case. The agent said during the raid they found Sam Mullet in a bedroom with a wife of one of the co-defendants doing, quote, sexual counseling. He said they found the scissors and clippers used in the attacks and that marijuana seeds and cocaine were found in a barn on the 800-acre property. The agent also said when they went to arrest Emmanuel Schrock, a co-defendant, he barricaded himself in a room with a child. The prosecutor also asked the agent about recorded jailhouse conversations between Mullet and others, where we learned 2 of the attacks might have been recorded and that Mullet may have forced one man into a chicken coop for 12 days.
Now, Mac, I want to get your thoughts on that.
Wow, what the fuck? They some straight gangsters in if you don't follow the rules. I'm like, you gonna get fucked up fucking with some people, man.
Get your beard cut off, man.
Yeah, so
what do you think of that, brother?
Cutting their beards off, and then they probably had these females doing all kinds of crazy shit to them.
They come at you with
Amish motherfuckers are like in their own motherfucking world. You know they got shit like that. And he's locking you up in a fucking chicken coop and teaching your wife how to take dick lessons.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 12 days. This motherfucker is going to not only lock you up, he's going to give your wife a deep dick and tell you it's class.
He's going to cut your beard off, lock you in a chicken coop, and stick it in your wife for 12 days.
But listen to this. If I'm right, listen to this. If I'm right, Joe said you got to have at least a 100-acre farm to maintain a family. Now, this shit said it happened on an 800-acre farm. It sounds like a fucking robbery to me.
Yeah. And they pretty much fucked this bitch and made him sit in the chicken coop.
Not pretty much. They definitely fucked his bitch.
Right. Chicken coop. This dude's in a motherfucking chicken coop with chickens and fowls and hens and turkeys, and he's getting his fucking gobble on. His wife is getting his son. It's horrible.
He's in his own chicken wrong. His fucking wife is getting screwed by the goddamn Quaker oat man. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Old-timey that motherfucker was attacked. He was putting old-timey buckle boots on his ass. It's a shame. So buckle boots knocking while his wife was just sitting there taking the railing of her lifetime, and old boy's in a fucking chicken coop. That's sad as shit, man. Those motherfuckers are living savagely on
well, at least they didn't do what fucking Gingrich did.
Yeah, Gingrich stacked the organ.
Hey, that motherfucker not only beat his bitch, but he took the time to put boots on and then stomp her head.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I knew you'd like that shit.
And what's sad is I could barely tell the story because Six was in the background laughing like Daz on that Snoop Dogg cut.
Right.
He said, let's take a small chronic break, and you heard Daz laughing.
That fucking Danny guy's the biggest pussy in the world. He walks away on his goddamn horse.
Yeah, dude.
Six got a new idol.
Danny ran away with stupid horse because he didn't want no more big bad gimmicks and putting the whip down.
Oh, he should have got a fucking hammer or something and done something.
Dude was a pussy. I don't know, man. If it was me and I see some dude beating some broad up, I'm not first. I'm gonna ask, what did she do?
Well, it was his mother. I think he was getting beat
I know,
up.
but the fact is, Danny motherfucker just walked away after he got a whooping. Why are you just gonna get back on your horse and ride off? Why can't you? And he was fucking.
And he was riding bareback style. That's the way Coop was reading it all.
Now, isn't a mare a female horse?
I don't know what it is, but I was thinking Red Dead Redemption.
Why didn't he pick like the Stallion or the Clydesdale or something? Full pick the donkey.
It's been said before, the bitch version of any animal's weaker. Pick the Stallion, dummy, you would have got this fast.
You got there faster with the Stallion.
He went to the fucking English hospital.
Yeah, them Amish, man, they some crazy motherfuckers, man. Like, and you talk about secret societies and shit like that, them motherfuckers live their own secret shit, man, for real. Like, you see see them on their budget, and then when you take your eyes off of them, they be the went through the woods on your ass. You don't even see them no more.
And there's secret societies in every religion. I mean, there's Christians that stay to themselves. There's Jews, obviously, the Orthodox, they do weird shit.
One thing I say about them, though, they do make some fire-ass furniture, dog. They make good furniture.
It's expensive
I still want to know, man, why are the Amish making electric heaters, man? I keep seeing that shit on TV. They selling heaters that you plug in the wall, man. It looks like it's actually on fire.
I told you. They're not making the heater. They're not making the heater. They make the manual. You get the heater for free.
Oh, so you watch the commercial, you have the kind of building the motherfucker in the barn, man.
Yep.
Look at the commercial. You have dude with his sleeve rolled up and a fucking hat, and he's building a heater for you, man. Those motherfuckers build them.
He's building a heater.
Myself in my eyes.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. They're definitely building a lot of shit. I noticed that in my area, a lot of the roofing contracts are the Amish. You know what I'm saying? These guys are going. They're putting those metal tin roofs on a lot of houses around here, and so they're getting contracts. They're getting money. They're making big bank. They got
how far do you think you live from me, Perez?
From you? Oh man, about 90 miles to the west.
See, in 90 miles to the northeast, you got the Amish building roofs. 90 miles to the southeast, you got the Mexicans building roofs. I sense a war coming on.
The Mexicans against the Amish. Man, why don't we put Swoop and Joe back on the phone again? And, this is going to be a war. I'm going to mute everybody else.
You taking roofs from me, Joe? You taking roofs from me, buddy?
Joe, it's you and Swoop, man. Go at it. Come on, who's going to
my roof, Joe? I got these shingles on lock, homie.
Well, I was just talking to a friend of mine who he's an Amish, but he was doing some roofing, and then after a while he said that he couldn't compete with some Mexican guys that were
That's right. We work for nothing.
So he ended up getting a factory job because he couldn't make it with us.
See that? The Mexicans
we do factories too. We don't fuck with Tyson though. Tyson will fucking turn you into the INS.
Fucking Swoops, man. You guys are taking over the planet. Even taking away from the poor Amish community. God damn. Well, hey, we're going to get up out of here. I'm going to go to the choir. Joe, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you, Joe.
Appreciate you. And give your website again one more time.
What was that?
Give your website one more time.
FormerAmish.com. Former Amish News on Facebook, and Misleaded on YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about. Thanks again, Joe. Brother Herod, thank you for keeping things together tonight. I really appreciate you because tonight I kind of lost it a few times. But this was a wonderful show. A little bit of clowning, a lot of information, some heartfelt, sad shit, man. I hope Joe and his family definitely get through these hard times. So shout out to Joe and shout out to his family. Thanks again for sharing your story. But now we're getting out of this bitch. Time to go to the choir one last time. And this lovely hymn belongs to none other than Weird Al Yankovic with this Coolio rendition of Gangster's Paradise, which y'all know as Amish Paradise. Because now we're going to be churning butter